this alignment with the
Mhm.
yogini cult or with the Das Mahavidya cult. So will that will actually have some impact. The total transformation will be there. There will be learning experiences. There will be blessings as well. So will there be any side effects per se if someone does some mistake or maybe who is maybe deviating from the uh, proper practice of the concept? So how will that impact a person in a negative manner? Will that happen at all if somebody is not adhering to the rules and regulations of the tradition?
Yeah, there are side effects. So when we are speaking about the side effect of the, I mean the, if it is not properly done, what would be the after effect? Like, there is certainly, advantages are there when we are working on the, I mean, when we are trying the yogini sadhana.
Mhm.
Also, of course, there is there are some other problems also is been there if it is not did properly. So this is like, it is true to all sort of meditations as well. If it is not done properly, there
Mhm.
is, of course, there are side effects. um See, the meditation, we have to look into why we are doing meditation. Some people says it to improve concentration and stuffs like that, but if we study that really deeply and properly, we could actually understand it is been done to get the grasp or the idea about how the creation is basically working, how the realities are basically working.
Right.
All sort of occult knowledge, or all sort of esoteric knowledge, if it is not performed properly, there is of course side effect. Like, for this we have to look into the story of Milarepa. If we look into
Mhm.
the story of Milarepa, the reason why he went to Marpa uh,
Mhm.
to study the esoteric teaching, like, the tantric teaching, basically, we can now also we could see a lot of Buddhist monks. They have extraordinary capability. They are living in the monasteries. They can, some peoples can fly, some peoples can walk on the top of the water. There are
The levitation
levitation. They have extraordinary stuffs are there,
abilities.
abilities are there. That is
Mhm.
not just the case of the Tibetan monks. There are peoples which we could see in the Himalayan caves also, is been the true.
Yogis.
Mm. There is one story which one of my spiritual friend has been shared. He was in the uh, caves of the Himalayas in search of,
Mhm.
some yogis and things like that. So he went into one deep cave, and all of a sudden, there is one voice started to come, like, you also
Mhm.
came, you also came. So he was
Mhm.
looking here and there, and he was not able to see nobody, but the voices just keep coming. And the
Mhm.
reason was that what happened is
Mhm.
that there was one yogi was meditating, and he forget that he got a body. And it's
Mhm.
been centuries he is been meditating there, and the body
Mhm.
has a problem. It cannot, it cannot go beyond 100 years or 120
Mhm.
years at max. According to Vedic astrology, 120 years is the maximum
Right.
age the body could actually survive. So
Okay.
what happens after that, the body will be lost. So the he got some sort of extraordinary ability. So he was
Mhm.
there, just like, as the cosmic force, he was just there, his soul was there, even though he was not having a body. So these kind of advantages we can get, like,
The
the
extraordinary abilities,
extraordinary abilities, like, ability to come out from the dead,
levitate,
and
and
all,
yeah,
all these kind of things are possible.
possible.
So
Okay. So,
when we are talking about the disadvantages, the harm that can cause if it is not did properly, like,
Mhm.
recently one of my other friend is been connected, and he started doing the yogini sadhana in order to, because he is basically he is basically a cancer patient, like, so suddenly the things he's been started changes in his life and things like that. So what he did is like the things which once he started yogini sadhana, like
Hmm.
what it is, he is feeling like committing suicide. The reason why he was calling me in at 1 o'clock in night and telling me that I don't know, I'm feeling like committing suicide. I am feeling like I don't feel like, you know, anything towards my family, and what I have to do. Should I mean, I'm feeling meaninglessness towards the life exactly. So
Hmm.
what was the problem was happening here, one of the mudra he was performing was very wrong, and this
Hmm.
has happened, and what happened is that this started to evoke a certain kind of energy in his body, and
Oh my God.
there are some people has been done a sort of maranam in his in his existence. He was one of the one very big business person basically. He was a very
Okay.
well-to-do business person. He constructed, he was basically a contractor. He constructed a lot of bridges which we can see in the Bangalore right now. So one of
Okay.
the very big businessman, all of a sudden his health started to falling apart, and his commerce, I mean his business started to falling apart and things like that. So many things has been happened in this particular way. So he started doing the yogini sadhana to recover all his businesses, and the stuffs like that. Suddenly what happened, the mudra, one of the mudra he was performing was basically wrong. So this made him to think otherwise, like the mind is started to change, because the yogini sadhana is one of the very effective method, like it can reflect very fast, like so if we did it a very proper way, this is like because this is the one of the very advanced spiritual practices which we
Hmm.
can see we can see it in north, south, Buddhism, and
Hmm.
Hinduism, and many things we can see. This is because it includes mudras, it includes
Hmm.
yantras, it includes mantras, and it
And
includes
pranayams and
pranayama methods
other
also.
yogic kriyas.
Also
Okay.
it includes. So this is one thing, and also peoples can feel the illusions and hallucinations. So
Hmm.
once the some people's feel like I have spoken to people, they are seeing gods in so many different formats, like
Hmm.
some people will see it as a Krishna,
Hmm.
one woman, she was calling me and saying that she is seeing in the dreams Shiva is coming to have intercourse with her. That this is what she was actually saying,
Wow.
so what is this happening, so these sort of illusions,
Hmm.
this can happen, that has nothing to do with the reality what exactly is happening. So these kind of disadvantages is can be happen in the
If it
yoga,
is not done properly,
not
right?
done properly, and if it is not did in with the proper guide, this is the problem that can be happen, because it
Yeah, that's
has
what I was going to ask you.
yeah, yeah.
Without initiation, if someone does it,
Mhm.
how would that impact a person in terms of body,
the
mind,
the
and spirit?
simple explanation is that he or she can turn to madness and craziness. This is they can lose their mind basically, because these energies, if we look into
Are
the
too powerful
mantra.
to handle.
Yeah, the mantras are like, some of the mantras which is been actually given for prayogs, to change the
Mm-hmm.
reality, stambhanam, maranam, ucharanam, and things
Hmm.
like that. People will
Hmm.
put these mantras and listen and just chant these mantras, because people don't understand, mostly Western people, they will take these mantras and they just put it in Spotify in just a remixed suicided way, because these mantras has some certain effect. That's why these mantras are there. So if they just keep chanting that sort of energy, they will attract. And this is like, very much hallucinative. Like some of the one of my friend, she is from Germany, and she is keeps
Mm.
texting me like, in morning she will say she is planning to commit suicide. In afternoon she will say I'm planning to leave, and night she will say I'm planning to commit suicide. This is
Oh my
the
God.
this is the problem,
Impact.
impacts that can
Why
happen.
she does not do it properly or something, or maybe she has gone wrong somewhere. Thinking what is the
Because
reason behind it?
yeah, there she got some wrong ideas, and she started to practice in order to achieve these wrong ideas. And the without, because alone you may not be able to distinguish between what is real and unreal. And this is
The
like
hallucination and the reality and all those
yeah,
aspects.
yeah.
So, now since we are into the Kali Yuga, so Kali
Mm-hmm.
Yuga will actually, like unlike the other yugas, the Kali
Mm-hmm.
Yuga actually uh, channelizes mind in a different way, towards a different direction,
Mm-hmm.
which is not so positive, which is not so pure, or things like that. There are other negative emotions which are more prominent in our day-to-day lives that we get to see and around us. So in that case, since it is a Kali Yuga that we are going through, so the yogini sadhanas are advisable for people. What do you think about it? Like, what should one should do it for and upliftment in at the soul level in terms of body, mind, and soul, or maybe if I say that, will it benefit them in various ways, including the materialistic as well as the spiritual journey? How will that influence the people in the Kali Yuga, unlike the other yugas?
The
Yeah.
yugas has been given to people, they really don't understand the spiritual. I mean, it is given to general public rather than that of a serious sadhak or sadhika. Why? Because the when you enter into the realm of sadhana, what you
Mm,
understand is that. You will understand the, I mean, you will understand in an experiential level that the soul or the atman, which has been here before also and which is
mm,
going to be here after also. So what happens
mm,
over in this particular consciousness, like this is the
mm,
god's consciousness, where you will be able to see the reality in some larger sense or the larger aspect. So here what you understand is that there is really, there is nothing like bad is existing, I mean the wrong deeds are existing, there is nothing like a good deed is existing, because
mm.
all the good deeds you do in the physical layer is just
Realm.
ends in the physical layer, like so all
Mm.
the bad deeds you do in the physical layer, this just ends in the physical layer. So if you look really really deep into these the the ideas of the morality between the good and bad, you will really understand that there is nothing like that is existing. So the in that scenario, yogini sadhana has been advised in the, I mean the occult, anything to do with the really
Local
transformational,
science.
yeah, occult power has been advised in all the ages, those who look for something beyond, like if you feel like
The transcendental.
transcendental, like if you feel like you want to do something extraordinary, or if you feel
Mm.
like you want to do something really really deep, you can actually, I mean anybody can look into the occult things which can transform you in centuries, like whatever the
Any
yoga does.
century. So that has
Any
nothing to do with the yugas or anything of that kind.
yoga
So, uh,
yoga has been given to really common people, like they
mhm.
have a
Not for
belief.
the people
uh,
who are into serious spiritual practices or
Spiritual
so. So
practices,
it
like
can be,
because in these spiritual practices mostly peoples will give up almost everything. Like, if because I mean, very minimal. Most of the peoples, they
Mm,
live with very minimal thing. It's not like you have to renounce everything in order to get spiritual enlightenment or anything that sort. But generally happens, the I mean, so called the saint and all those people, they generally
mm,
ends up having very less, because they get an understanding of this is enough, basically.
mm,
I mean, if I want to live, this is enough. This is the idea which will take them to there. But if you really want to do something in larger scale, like for example, somebody like Elon Musk, or somebody like Apple CEO, these people, they really need to gather the things around them in order to
correct.
execute the idea whatever they are having. So
Mm,
in that way, because they can flex the reality and
mm,
get the things done according to them. So this
mm,
so for them also, the yogini sadhana is very, I mean, it is very important to,
important.
very nice, I mean, very good to have, I mean.
As well as the common people.
Yeah, exactly.